morning, everyone. Oh my goodness. And happy February. Welcome to the first show in February for Viva Cafe con Leche. I am the badass Buddha, Lori Monato. I don't even know my name. Lori Monaco, coming to you from a very beautifully sunny southern Connecticut. However, the temperature is a very hot 20 degrees.
Oh,
It is
no.
it is clear, but it is cold, baby. It is cold outside, and it is just gonna keep going down over the next couple of days. It is supposed to be single digits. So yeah, let's get busy. Welcome to winter. Hey, Melissa. Melissa's on. Hernandez.
Melissa Hernandez. Who
Oh,
is
I was
she?
thinking about you. I was thinking about you the other day. Actually Tuesday show. I was thinking about you, Melissa.
Yes, because who is she?
She is our 100th subscriber on the YouTube channel. You got
We
us to be able to use the Viva Cafe con Leche on the link. You were the one person that got us to that level that allowed us to do that. So
thank you, Melissa. Good morning, Kathy. Listen, I love that Kathy comes on YouTube.
me too.
Yes, the second day of the second month of the 12-month plan we have going on this 2023. You know?
I thought you froze for a second because
I thought you froze.
I tried to get my I tried to get my Facebook share in here, and it's just a freaking nightmare.
You know, it's every day, we say every day's a gift. We must live in our moments. We must own our now. The only thing we possess is our now.
Yes.
It's knowing that we are living in our now is what sets us apart from everybody. And if everybody were to embrace that gift of living in your now and fully and totally accepting the day for what it is, we would be just elevated. I think the human mind and the universe is so much bigger than what they have allowed us to believe since kindergarten. That's a whole subject. We're going to get into the kindergarten subject one day. And so, I mean, all the elevation of self and then the elevation of reaching out and helping to uplift everyone else, that is something it's so doable. And it should be a requirement. And yet there are times we don't know how to go about doing that. Well, we welcome all of you who are on. Hola, Milagros, mi ángel de la guarda. And I think this is what we do. This is why we show up for one another at 8 a.m. every Tuesday and Thursday. And it is to elevate so that we may assist in elevating. And it's always that building block up and expanding this way. It's never like this for any of us who come on this show. So I thank you. We thank you for all of that. We thank you for the shares. We thank you for inviting people on. We thank you for suggesting us to people who might use us as that mustard seed to take that leap of faith and move forward in their lives because they heard the badass Buddha and I say something that's like, ooh, I'm perfectly, exceptionally great at speaking what people only dare to think. So make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. Buenos dias. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday. Well, listen, let's get in this. This is the start of a new month. We are still in the first quarter of knowing thyself. We start today is the first of the show for the month of February, which is acknowledge and acceptance, meaning of self. So that is what the big focus is going to be this whole entire month is acknowledge and acceptance of self. And it's important for you to, follow along. Hopefully you got that notebook. Hopefully you bought that journal from Gladiator Guru. You got that journal to be able to write in and take notes for the entire year. And really what it's going to be is it's going to be for the first 3 quarters, because the last quarter, so October, November, December, is just going to be review of everything we've done and checking in to make sure that we've done it. And if we have yet, or if we're a little behind behind, then that's where we're going to get in your face and say, what is it? And we're going to be sticking up for ourselves as well, or pushing ourselves, because there's an expectation, even though we expect the unexpected, but there is that expectation within ourselves to say, so by the end of September, we should be, and we're going to should on ourselves. This is where we're setting the intention. This is where we want to be. And now we're going to have you hold us accountable to that as well throughout this whole process. So it's one big accountability group coaching session that we're all going to be learning and stepping up for. So take your notes, please do so. Take your notes. And let's start off by setting our intention. Let's do our mantra, and let's get this conversation on, because today is the joy of knowing. That's what today's conversation is. Did you want to add something, or you want to do the intention?
The joy of knowing is also knowing that you do not know, because it is the intro to knowing. It's a tongue twister. I need some action on those muscles. Go ahead.
I need the action on me though with that. So I mean, let's be real. Okay, so let's set our intention here at Viva Cafe con Leche. Set your I said that so white. Cafe con Leche. Viva Cafe con Leche. We are going to set our intention. You set your intention for whatever it is. So go ahead and set your intention now if you would like. Think about how you want your day to go and set that intention. You could set it after the show. You could set it throughout your day, whatever you need to do. But you're going to set that intention, and
you're going to do it with, for, and in gratitude.
Perfect. Perfecto. So set that intention. Say, you know what? My intention for today is going to be a fabulous show. My intention for today is that we're going to have a lot of conversations for people. My intention is that we're going to see a lot of people come on, because all of you are sharing it like crazy. Not just once, not just twice during this broadcast. You're going to share it about 4 to 5 times. So that's my intention. All right. The mantra. Here we go. Say it loud. Say it proud. I am a disruptor.
I am a disruptor.
I am unapologetically courageous.
I am unapologetically courageous.
I am spiritually grounded.
I am spiritually grounded.
I am magically orgasmic.
Ole.
And I keep it real.
We keep it real. She forgot and got ahead of herself.
I wanted to keep the eyes there. So maybe what we need to do, Gladiator Guru, is say, keep it all with the eyes. I keep it real for them to say to themselves. And then we do it together. We keep it real. Maybe that's
a good cleanup.
That's a good cleanup.
That's a good cleanup. Okay. I am trying to get my share. Mi gente.
So here we go. The joy.
Wait, before, I wanted you to notice, what are you wearing today?
What am I wearing today?
This is.
Wait, let me get rid of the thing that's there. Hold on. The banner's blocking.
Beatty.
This is what I'm wearing today.
Oh, you got the turquoise one. I randomly pick them. And this is my silver one. But these are our arming ourselves with the tip of the pen to the paper to write our thoughts and share our knowing. And this is you holding the key. This is a reminder. I think we all need that reminder. You holding the key to your life, being the gatekeeper of your life, unlocking that door. When you have the joys of knowing, it's knowing who you are. So today's a great title. And let's get in it.
And by the way, if you want a key, you can order Gladiator Guru's journal.
Order the journal.
That's how you get the key. right?
You get the
And
key.
I love it. I was thinking about what you had said and how you said that you wore it around your neck the other day at work. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to wear it as jewelry today. Not just to remind me that I have the key, you know, for my own story. That's the key to my life, the key to whatever. But it's also to honor you because of putting
Oh,
out to put out you put out that journal. You know, we have to celebrate when people that we know and love do things that they, you know, make achievements and do things especially that they said they were going to do. You know, she Gladiator Guru said that she was going to do this, and she was on the down low a little bit about it. She kind of like kept every so often she would mention a little something about her journal to me, but she kept it, you know, just so that when she was ready to release it, she was ready to do it. So when she actually finished it and then showed it to me, which really wasn't a very long span of time, I was so proud of her, and I don't think I actually really said it
no, you
specifically.
didn't tell me.
I
You better
didn't. Okay.
receive it.
But I'm very proud of you. I'm proud of what you said, that you said you were going to do it. You put it out. You put it out exactly as you envisioned it, and it's very pretty. You know, it's a very pretty journal. So, if you order it, you will get one of these things. But I love this piece of it because it was such a good idea. It was like such a good thing to add to it. The whole idea of the key and the pen. So very nice, Gladiator Guru.
Well, yeah. First of all, thank you, thank you, thank you. I really was hoping more people took advantage of the limited offer in January, which was $27 for both. Um, it was the 95-page journal and the 50 blank page, which, see, you know, it's only 50 pages, but the paper is so good that it's actually heavier than the 95-page journal. And then starting now in February, the journal alone is $25. But I'm going to invite you. I'm going to plug myself in, badass. Give me a minute. In March, it's going to be, I wrote it down, trust me. But in March, I am going to offer 10 spaces in our workshop for $47, journal included, so that we can discover what it truly is to understand her in the you, and then which brings forth the joy of knowing who you are and speaking the I am everywhere you stand. So I will put that out there. So I already have two
So
people.
that's four. So listen, everybody, that's 4 60-minute workshops, right? 4 60-minute workshops, right? That's what you said?
No, I said $47 a workshop, but yeah, there's
Oh,
four.
$47. Okay, so it's
Yeah.
$47 for 1 60-minute workshop.
Yes.
And but that comes with the book. So that right there is a really good value because the books itself are what
$25. The journal itself. That going forward, the beautiful notepad, blank inks, the blank canvas of your life will be sold separately. But what I will be doing is before mid-February, towards the end, I will have an offer. The first 5 people to sign up get the 2. Because can you tell us, because you said you started with the notepad, how is the notepad? Does it open your ideas? Does it call for your brain to just be creative? You started working on the notebook with
Yeah.
no lines.
Yeah.
Was it
Yeah.
good?
Hi, Dr. Denny. Good morning, Eileen. What I like about it is that has no lines, and I like the feel of the paper. So that fits. I like both. I know you only like no lines. I like things I like both. Depends on my mood. So that one is more for my ideas for 2023. That's what that one's for. It's for the creative piece as opposed to just note taking for myself or like outright journaling. How am I feeling today? Or like my thoughts. This is more of that when I get a creative moment. That's the book that I've been putting it in. So it also includes, like, if I have an idea and I take a picture of something and I print it out, I'm literally pasting it into the book as well.
It is. It is art therapy.
I just think that having multiple journals makes a difference anyway, because um, because of the way that looks, and I like the binding too, as opposed to something that just opens and like I've pulled it open before and I've ripped pages out by mistake because of the glue. But I like it because it depends on my mood. So my one day my mood is I'm writing in a notebook, and then the other mood is I'm writing in more of a journal. So it's definitely
Yes. This
what's
I
the word I'm
ordered
looking
it
for?
so that when you open
It's
it,
filled that piece for me.
so I ordered it. I created it this way so when you open it on the desk, it lays flat, so that you have no excuse not to write anywhere and everywhere you may be. So I try to make it as functional for the women who are busy in this world, who want to be holding down one side while you're trying to write in another. So that is why it was created this way. And me with the lines, I'm also going to go over that in the workshop. And it's also about freeing yourself from boxes that we were placed in as children, to think that I like to write in line because it keeps me focused, it keeps me in check, it keeps me everything. You know what? So we're going to be talking about that. So I am going to encourage you all, as soon as I put it out there, what did I say? The first 5 people to join the workshop, to pay for the workshop, will receive both the journal and the notebook. And it's going to be fun. You know why? Because whenever you invest in your life, it's the greatest gift you ever received. Nobody can gift you that amount of joy within than you investing in something that's going to elevate you. And with that, the joy of knowing.
The joy of knowing. So this is Acknowledge and Acceptance Month. Why is this so important with what we've been talking about? Because when you acknowledge and accept who you are at this moment in time, because that's what this is about, of acknowledging and accepting who you are at this moment in time, because that's the only way change can occur. If you deny that, if you pretend that you're not seeing it, that's what the whole first month of the year was. January was awareness. We learned that put a lot of distractions in our place. We refuse to see things. We cover our ears because we don't want to hear things, or we'll see things but we'll talk ourselves out of what it is exactly. So we have to become aware, and then once we become aware, we have to accept and acknowledge, or acknowledge and accept it. We've acknowledged that this is how our life is. We've acknowledged the person that we are, or we're acknowledging, and then we're accepting it, because that's actually the most discomforting piece. Okay, awareness is one discomfort. Oh God, I really didn't want to see this, and I'm looking at this, and all right, I'm looking at this, I see it. But then to acknowledge that it's there every single day, and accept the fact that I've allowed it to be there every single day, that this is in my life. My life is this way. I live this way. My surroundings are this way, my environment, because I've allowed it to be this way. I've played a role. You might not be the only participant in your environment, but if there's certain things that you have learned since last month that you are not willing to tolerate, that you are not happy about, then you have to understand that you've played that role. So the oxymoron is the joy of knowing. The joy of knowing, we could say, oh, if it's wonderful, of course you want to know it. But if it's something that sucks, that you said to your, oh God, I've ignored this for 5, 10, 15 years. I didn't really want to pay attention to this, but they're making me, because we're holding a gun to your head. But you have to have joy in knowing that now, even if it sucks, the joy of knowing, because this is where the change is going to take place. Go ahead, Gladiator.
I love that. Keep going.
No,
we have to know what we want, and we have to know what we don't know. You can't go through life with blinders on, with earmuffs on, and then blame the world for your lack of. I think when we, excuse me, when we totally understand the joy of knowing, we are living the I am. The I am. When people's like, oh, who are you? And then you put labels on yourself. Well, I'm so and so's daughter, so and so's wife, so and so's mother. I'm so and so's slave at the corporate office over here. That is not what we want to hear. That is not what the world needs to hear. You know, we all talk about meditation and putting things out, the laws of attraction, you know, say putting things out into the universe. The universe for many is just the universe, and for others, the universe is Elohim, Yahweh, right? To me, they're one and the same, the creator. But when we talk about the I am, you know, for those believers in Yahweh and God, the creator, they say that God is everywhere, but it's really God is in everything. God lives within us. We are the temple. You know, the I am, that's what makes us what the I am. So when you deny certain parts of yourself, you're denying the existence of everything. When you get to the joy of knowing, that joy means, oh, I am that disruptor. I am that unapologetic. That's the I am that we people seek, and they're like, I don't know what to say, damn it. Then they get upset. But you hear it every Tuesday and Thursday in a mantra. And you can change words and adapt words that are you in that mantra. That's why we put it out there as a tool. I am a disruptor. I am unapologetically courageous. I am spiritually grounded. I am magically orgasmic. I keep it real. You know why? And I say that, and when I'm walking through work, and it's just, you know, and when I'm anywhere, when I'm doing anything, why? Because we need to be reminded of who we are in the middle of what is. That is the joy of knowing who the hell you are, not what everybody expects you to be, not what you thought you were, because it's just too hard to really understand who I am. Let me just go with the flow. Get out of the lazy zone. Get into that far left lane and speed your ass up to where you are. Catch up with yourself. That is the joy of knowing. Go ahead.
And when we were putting this together, or when Gladiator Grew was putting the title together, she wrote in the side notes, the description, when we become aware, we know things. And it's that simple. We become aware, and now we know. Whether good, bad, or ugly, it's just it's just a statement with no emotion and no connection. It's we become aware, we know. What throws us off is that we have to complicate everything. You know, like we don't want to know. We don't want to be aware because we didn't want to deal with it. We didn't want to accept it. We didn't want to and it takes great bravery to be able to become aware and know it, and now go into the next phase, which is acknowledge it and accept it. And it doesn't mean it's a finality. That's just it. It's that you have to acknowledge that this is where you are, and you have to accept this is where you are. And then the next phase would be, what am I going to do about this? What role did I play? Because that's actually the following month is March is accountability. Taking accountability for what you became aware of, what you acknowledge and accepted, and now taking accountability to it to exact change in your life. But it's just anything. Knowing, when we become aware, we know anything. You know, like think about something that you learned yesterday. Maybe you were watching a program, maybe you were watching the news, and you're like, oh my God, I didn't know that was happening. Boom, you're aware of it. Then what you choose to do with that information is up to you. And that's why we have to open ourselves up to becoming aware and letting things in. We let things in with discernment, like with not that you're judging it, not that you're not judging it whatsoever, letting anything come in. You are stepping back and mindfully observing, and then making a decision based upon that. So this way you get to look at that from a different perspective. You know, you take that information in, you digest it, and then you decide what you're going to do with that information. Is that information just going to leave and say, well, it's not anything that really I need to be worried about? Is it information that you're going to, well, I'm going to have to just put this on the back right now because I don't have all the information and I'm not going to, I don't know what to do with it yet. Or, holy crap, I need to do something about this right now. Good or bad, the gratitude piece comes in by saying it's a joy to know this. Like, oh my God, that's horrible that that's happening right now, but take the joy from that. Why is it a good thing that you know that now? What is that going to do for you? How is that going to change you, shape you? And then what action will you take later? So it creates it down the line. That's how you have to look at this.
Yes. But you know what? No matter what color lens you're wearing, the truth is the only one who can bring you joy is yourself. The only one who can discover what's good for you, what's not good for you, what you keep, what you eliminate is you. So at the end of the day, no matter what it is that's happening to you, around you, for you, you're the main factor. You're the reason for it. So the only one who can bring you joy is you. The only one who can learn and become is you. So yeah, it is a responsibility. But then don't complain when other people are stitching you back together. You are the seamstress. You are the author. You are everything that everybody has a title for your life. So why not bring yourself joy and learning what it is you want, where you want to be, how you're gonna achieve that, why you need to do it. All of those, what is it? I don't even know the order. Where, why, how, what is those 5 things? That's you.
No. What, when, where, why, and how, right? Is that it?
That's all you. When you're asking yourself that, we cannot wait for anyone to bring us, to serve us, to anything of that. If somebody doesn't make you happy, leave. If somebody is bringing you pain, then leave. Redirect. We talked about being Captain Save-A-Hole. You can try it. Please try it 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. That's it. Why? Because then you fall into that rut. I'm no good. Why do I attract this? Because you're a magnet, mama. So what you got to do, dole it out. The joy of knowing is beautiful. The joy of knowing, no matter how you get there through difficulty, no matter how painful the joy of knowing can be, do you agree, Varas? Sometimes knowing is very painful. There's no joy in it other than you know now, so now you have to make a choice, correct?
Yes.
But it's just like, it serves such a great purpose, like when you give birth to that ugly little baby that comes out into the world, but you love it already, totally and completely. That kind of joy is what you achieve when you know who you are, when you discover the cracks in your cup and you repair them so that then you can pour from it into the lives of others. But that is the joy in knowing, what do I need to do here before I bring it there? Because we were born to be of service. That is God's way. To be human, to gather in humanness with one another, to uplift, to encourage. That's our purpose of spirits. I don't know how we got off of that highway, but we did. We don't even walk through the pastures of it anymore. Many of us are stuck in the dark valley. Well, you know what? You cannot reach the mountain unless you travel that valley. Although I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. Well, we need to completely walk through that valley of darkness, because what awaits us on the other side, we can't even describe. That is the joy of knowing that, you know what? I've been in the mud. I've been hungry. I've been thirsty. I've been alone. I've been cold. But now I know what I must do. And in that joy of knowing who to depart from, it's like In a show of hands, does anybody get to the airport early? Excuse me. You just sit there and people watch. It's beautiful. Like, not at your gate. At the gate, there's really nothing to see but other people waiting with you. But outside, like when you arrive, when the family gathers with the signs or whatever, or right when you're at the kiosk signing in and you have some time, so you sit there before crossing into the gate section, and the interaction of people. I think that is the most beautiful people watching place, is the airport, either in arrivals or departure. Because either way, people are sad to see you leave, so the love is in abundance. And people are so excited to see you arrive that the love is in abundance. And I think that's what we need to incorporate in our lives, because when we're slapped in the face with the knowing part, we can easily look at it with discernment, as the badass Buddha says. You look at it with discernment, and then you know that with every sweetness must come the sour, and vice versa. With every lighted room, you just walk through a dark one. When there you can sit with both, then guess what? You have reached the joy of knowing, because one cannot exist without the other. That's why when we were talking yesterday about are you happy, we mentioned that there are gray areas. There's many gray areas in this little game called life, and there's more than 50 shades. But we need the negativity in order to appreciate the positive moments in our lives. And yeah, why do you run from pain? The true meaning of pain just reminds you that you are alive, and movement is life. So the pain that you feel, and no, we don't ask for half the pain we receive. But then when you look back at it, you're like, oh, thank God that like slapped me in the face, or I would have still been asleep in that relationship or in that job, or not jumping my ass up and starting this business. Try to reflect back to moments that were painful to you. Not all of them were catastrophic, because you're here to tell the story. But then what happened afterwards? And that's what I encourage women in the life coaching. I don't want to keep hearing the story about what somebody did to you, about how they threw you on the ground and how long you stood there. I want to hear that, like Ajusta tu Corona says, I want to hear the achievement you made through the courage to rise and the tenacity to see it through. That's the story that you need to write. This happened. I fell in love with this person. I went into a partnership with that person. I shared this, whatever the case may be. And this is how I was repaid. Whether it was betrayal, whether it was being robbed by somebody, whatever the negative story may be. Guess what happened? You're here telling me the story, so you didn't die. So what happened? Tell me that part. Tell me what lit that firecracker up your ass to bring you to the point in the joy of knowing that you needed to go through that in order to be here. That's the story that they make movies about. So everybody has a story, and guess what? You're the main character in that story. Dress you up the way you want to see fit. One of my favorites was Angelina Jolie in Laura, that when she was that I don't know, it's Laura. I can't even remember the name of the movie, but she was badass. I think Angelina Jolie was badass in all her movies. But so be that character. Pick a character. That you don't have to be hardcore at everything. The joy of knowing means that you know how to balance the sadness, the anger, the rage, the happiness, the joy. And sitting in the knowing that you know how to handle all of them, because they are within you. And you are the gatekeeper of your body, mind, and soul. So nobody can take you there. Nobody can make you behave this way, do this. And when you learn the joy of knowing that only you have the key to that gate and you unlock those demons or those angels, then you will become very strict on which doors open and which do not. Because for every timing, for every place, there's a timing. You don't say the wrong thing at the wrong time. When you believe in a higher power, oh shit, thank God. When I'm going somewhere that I know I have to be on my best behavior, or I know that there are going to be incidents that's going to like really make me get angry, you know what I do? I'm like, Father God, my tongue. Hold it. Hold it. I say that all the time. When I got to go to a meeting at work, I'd be like, I don't know why you brought me here, but I'm here. So please hold my tongue. Please hold my tongue. Because, sometimes my face speaks what my mouth doesn't. So I got to be like, but because not everybody deserves my energy, and I can't fix everything, and I can't keep highlighting to managers and executive directors how they need to run their company. Who am I in that? No. What I can do is do the best I can where I'm at, and then show those around me how to care for these residents. Show those around me that, you know what? It is easier to just smile. And that's all I can do. I can lead by example and hope that when I leave there, that I'm leaving something behind that they're going to remember. So when they're having a bad day, they're like, oh my God, what did Margie used to do in this thing? That's what we should do. That is the joy of knowing that you walk in your truth, and everywhere you go, you sprinkle some of your magic, and hopefully that carries on. You don't need to be present to know that you left a mark that will be followed, and people will be good. That's what we do here at Viva. Carry on.
So we want you to think about this. Think about everything that you learned about yourself last month, and anything that you might have jotted down. And if you didn't write anything down, take a few moments this weekend to admit those things to yourself, the good, the bad, and all of it, right? And say, like, what am I tolerating? What am I seeing? What am I hearing? What am I not seeing? What am I not hearing? And write it down. And then look at that and say, I acknowledge these things in my life. I acknowledge who I am, and I'm accepting who I am, because this is knowledge. These are things that I refuse to see, or I had a very skewed vision of what I was seeing or hearing, and I'm acknowledging this. Because the first part, again, of getting to the next step in your life is to acknowledge and accept it. Don't get frustrated by it. Feel the emotion that you're feeling when you're saying this. If you're getting pissed off or embarrassed by what you're reading, like what you wrote, the things that you became aware of in your life, and it's really hard for you to say, I acknowledge and I accept it, we want you to just breathe through it and know that even if it's bringing up emotions for you that are negative, that you're in charge of you. This is going to change. This is what we're encouraging you to do this year, is to flip that narrative, change that narrative, change the story, rewrite the story. It is not too late. You can go in any direction that you want to. It's not going to happen overnight. Some things might, but not everything will happen overnight, because it took you years to create this. Now it's going to take a little while to break it down and rebuild it. But again, you have got to be okay with seeing it. You got to have it in front of you. So if you did fill out that list of what am I tolerating, you got to have it in front of you. You have to be able to look at it every single day and say, I'm seeing this. I can't stand looking at this anymore. I don't like looking at this, what I wrote. I don't like admitting to all of this, but that is the only way you're going to end it. You're going to say, I'm done, because it's in your face. It's that, for years, what ends up happening is we just sort of put a little, it's been a little pinprick every so often, in our side, but then it'll go away. We'll do something to just ignore the pain. What we're trying to get you to do is to make sure that that's now become more like a thicker, thumbtack, and it's sitting in there, and it's forcing you to not ignore it any longer. because it's what becomes most uncomfortable for us. We can live in mild discomfort, and when it starts to get more uncomfortable, we just sort of do something to kind of stave it off, you know. But when something becomes so uncomfortable that you're reminded every single day, and you're getting to a point where you're like, I don't want to know anymore. I don't want to hear about it. Don't talk to me about it. When you get to that level, that means that you're aware of the fact that you don't want to be aware of this, but it keeps happening. Person keeps making you aware of it. The situation keeps making you aware of it. Acknowledge it, accept it, because we're going to give you the tools to help you get past it. So acknowledge and accept it. And then find the joy of saying, you know what? I'm so happy. I'm so joyful that I know this. Yes, it sucks. Yes, I hate admitting this, but I'm happy that I know this now, and I'm accepting it and acknowledging it because it's going to change for me. I'm going to make it change because I'm the one in charge of my life. I'm the one in charge of of my destiny. I make the choices. I chose to let it get like this. Now it's my choice to take it away, change it, and make it better.
I love that. That was beautiful. You know why? Because a lot of people don't want to hear these conversations about us. And why do you think a lot of people have something to say about us talking about this, or just don't want to listen?
Because they don't want to make the changes, and because it's fear. There's a lot of reasons why they don't want to, but that's why they don't
Mhm.
want to listen, because it's that thorn, it's that tack, it's sticking them, and they're able to deal with the mild discomfort. But I'm going to tell you from experience, and most of you can agree with me on here, the older we get and the more that tack sits there and digs in, there's a point where you can't ignore it anymore, and you're either going to explode or something's going to give. And it could be mental, emotional breakdown. It could be financial breakdown. It could be your breakdown of your spirit. It could be a breakdown of your physical body or your health. And then we refuse to still admit that those things had anything to do with all the stuff that we ignored for so many years, when in reality it had everything to do with that. But we still won't want to admit that. We still won't want to accept that and acknowledge that, because then we would have to take even more responsibility of, oh my God, I allowed this to happen. It's a bitter pill. I won't pretend it's not. It's really a bitter pill to accept that you caused your life to be the way it is. You know, I mean,
Mhm.
when I always look at my life, uh, I didn't make the players in my life do the things that they did. Like that's on there. Those were their choices. But I played my role in ignoring it, making excuses for it, whatever, because I devalued myself. And this is
Mm.
and it's just not one relationship. This is multiple relationships over multiple years, you know, where I set the tone. I taught people how to treat me. Hey, just shit all over me. Hey, take advantage of me. Hey, just, I'm not going to do anything about it. So just keep doing that. And I had to acknowledge that. I had to acknowledge the fact that I did that because I felt less than, I felt unworthy for whatever reason. I mean, I could sit there and blame, oh, it was my parents, it was my upbringing. It doesn't matter. I'm the one who still can change that. They started the story for me, but then I took over the pen at some point, and then I just kept rewriting what they told me without ever asking, hey, were you even right? Was that even accurate? No, not at
Yes.
all.
Do you know that on my landing page on my .com, I wrote something about understand her, and you just brought something, because a lot of people accuse me of not having any feelings, of being rude, and disrespectful, and I'm totally okay with all of that. What I am is real, and we are like, it's everything the badass Buddha just said, and a lot of people cannot admit that they are actually the villain in their story.
Oh,
You know,
I
They
was.
don't want to admit that had they made a wise choice for themselves years ago, they would not be suffering in today. Even yesterday, if you decided yesterday, people, places, and things, we put more value on them than who we are. And in my understand her part, it's a team effort when you understand the woman within. It's you from today and you from the yesterday. The you ignored. Well, she's ready to come out. So in it, I write, yesterday shit happened. The tears, heartbreak, abuse, wounds, scars, etc. And those events should be used as ammunition in your today and in your tomorrow. Any wars that are heading your way in your tomorrows, because you survived it. You won the battle. You didn't ask to go to war, but you won the battle because you're still standing today. And if we look at our past ignorance as such, then we're going to realize that we were forced into this war in the name of love. Everybody goes to war in the name of their country, for their country. You did it for love, for the most part, and you were hurt. So now what do? The joy of knowing. You learn red flags, green flags, white flags. You learn all the motherfucking colors of the rainbow, and that's to your advantage. Because you know what? When we have to go back and walk down that memory lane to forgive ourselves and to eliminate all of those villains we held captive in our thoughts, it's scary, right? But guess what? Memories can't hurt you. You already suffered the pain. You're just gonna relive it briefly. But the pain is not going to be like it actually was. I think it's more anger disguised as pain. So walk down it because just keep that in mind. It's nothing but a memory. Just like they say it's nothing but a dream. So the joy of knowing that what you must do, what you should do, what you can do, that's all. It's all in that mason jar. Take off the lid. It's all in there. The joy of knowing is knowing you have the courage to go back, forgive yourself, put plaster on the wall so there's no key for anybody to walk through into your life again that you no longer want. Do it. It is up to you. You are the architect. You're the author. Lori, we can go on and on about who you are in your life. The main thing is you're the main character.
Yes.
Start living.
Well, and that's a good acknowledgement right there. Have you been the secondary character? Have you been sitting on the sidelines? We could use all these metaphors, or whatever, but that's what you have to say. Like, what did you become aware of last month? And if you didn't do the work with us last month, go back and do the damn work. You have got to start. Ask yourself this question: am I going to go through another year doing the same bullshit? It's that path to insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome. You do the same thing over and over again, it's that you're not going to have anything different. Nothing's going to change until God changes it. God changes it sometimes by causing death, maybe not yours. I look back at my first marriage. And, I was miserable in that marriage. I hated it. Why I couldn't leave the guy, I don't know. I should have never even got serious with him. It should have just been a fling. But should have, could have, would have, whatever. But I tried a couple times and then he would pull me back in, So I had to acknowledge that. I had to acknowledge all that painful crap about myself, to think that, oh God, I so devalued myself that I put up with that. And it was my friend who said it to me when we got his diagnosis that he had 3 to 6 months to live. And she said to me, that's the only way you're going to get out of this marriage. And I was pissed when she said it. But when I sat down and thought about it, she was right. She was right. And that's what happened. What happened for me was I got out of the marriage because he died. I would like to think that I would have divorced him. But to be honest with you, my behavior, years later has shown that I probably would have stayed a lot longer had he not died. So I have to sit with that. I have to acknowledge that. I have to accept that. It's not accepting that it can't change. It's not accepting that I need to beat myself up about it. It's accepting the fact that this is what I did. Now I have to look at that bigger picture and start to go deeper. Why? Why did I do this? Why was that not enough? Why was it, every excuse? And how sometimes people say, oh, I want an excuse to leave, or I had all the best excuses to leave and end the relationship, and I didn't. So the question comes into play is why? What is it about me that what do I still need to work on? And that's been exceptionally challenging even in my second my second marriage, that it took so long to move to a different level. And so again, constantly having to acknowledge and check in and say, why it's certain things in my life do I move such a snail's pace, and other things I just jump on board and do. So there's still work after all these years. There's still work that I'm doing on myself. And what I've learned all the beautiful people that I have met, that's been the best part of my journey, is all the amazing people that I have met over the years. Some are no longer in there because they served a purpose. And I've realized that they were not in alignment with who I am and who I want to be. No judgment on them as far as whether I think they're good or bad. It's not that. It's that they're not my kind of people. So move on. Now the people that are around me are incredible, like really incredible. And I'm very grateful for that. And I say that every single day. But I also have to say to myself, okay, I've let these people in and I'm learning from them. And they're telling me things like, this is how long it took me, or this is what I went through. And I'm learning about them. And I'm learning how long it can take sometimes to understand oneself. So I'm taking a lot of information in and then saying, okay, now how am I applying it to myself? What did I become aware of myself? What am I acknowledging and accepting? And don't get hung up on the word acceptance. Like because acceptance means at this moment in time. That does not mean we're saying, oh, just accept your life as it is. That's just the way it is. That's not what we mean. We're meaning you need to accept it right here, right now. And if you look at that and go, this is unacceptable, then that's where the change is going to happen. You accept it as it is right now. You accept the fact that you played the role. We'll get to accountability next month. But the next phase is going to be next quarter is this is unacceptable. What the hell do I need to do to change? What do I need to get the hell out of here? Because honestly, I really don't know the steps. Fine. We're going to help you know your steps because we don't know your steps. We could only give you the information and then guide you. But that's the point, is we're setting you up to where you're going to get to a point where you're going to be like, this is so uncomfortable. I'm done. I'm out of here. I know the role that I played. What do I freaking need to do now? Because I'm done. I'm ready. And I surrender. Let's go.
Thank you for sharing that, because that's deep, and that's, every time you share a story like she just did, it always feels like the first time you're listening to it, because we don't realize the emotion we put behind it, because it was a true story. And the joy of knowing now, you know what, let's stop abusing ourselves for not knowing better back then. Enough with the self-abuse. You already suffered through that. Now you're reliving it and you're abusing yourself again instead of being aware that it happened and acknowledging it because it happened. So why are you going to doubly punish yourself for the action and then the memory? You can't keep doing that. I believe we do that so much to ourselves that when we get an inclination that somebody might be doing it or maybe will, we attack them. But what are we attacking? So the joy of knowing who the hell you are at all times, through everything you went through everything you're planning on today, and through everything you may go through tomorrow, that is the joy of knowing. You must know who the hell you are so that you can hold hands with your soul and skip down the yellow brick road, because guess what? It will be done on your timing, in your way.
Yep, your terms. That's right.
Okay? And if you pray, then your guidance and your clarity will be good, will be guiding you exactly where you need to be. We as humans want to keep falling and scraping the same freaking knee and elbow until we get it. Why must we endure?
You know how
Why
many
do we
times I've
choose
scraped?
to do that, right?
I'm
When
tired of
all we
scraping
gotta
that
do
knee.
is really put it out there. You know, universe, God, which way should I go? Because life has many roads, many paths, many, and half the time until now, we've chosen many exciting avenues and never walked the boulevard of healing. We just kept adding on to the pain, to the discomfort, to the abuse in every sense of the word, to the lack of self. And then now we're a big mess. But it's not us. It's this person for doing that. It's that person for doing this, for abandoning me, for insulting me, for doing this, for doing that. The joy of knowing is coming together with who you are right now as a whole, because you're not incomplete. We're not incomplete no matter what we went through. We are whole in who we are. The only thing lacking is understanding. And when you get understanding and then you reach a point of knowing, there's discomfort in growth, mi gente. But if you don't want to be labeled by everybody around you who assume, then take control of your life. That is the joy of knowing. And don't tell me you can't. You can. Trust me. The Badass Buddha had this big conversation about something yesterday. And you know what? You choose to hand over your life. You choose to be absent from your life. You choose to blame the world and not yourself. You. It's all about you. So
And that hurts. It hurts to know
learn.
that. But
Learn
it's
who the hell you are.
empowering at the same time. It hurts to know that. But believe me, it's empowering at the same time. We don't like to be blamed. We don't like to take response. I mean, you might be that person that says, "Oh, I don't mind saying I'm sorry." That's true. I mean, I don't mind if I'm wrong. I'm going to say I'm sorry. But when it comes to the real deep shit, it is really hard to acknowledge that fuck, I played a role, and my life is going away. It's not going the way I had wanted it to because I was the one who made the choices that I did. It's so much easier to say, "Oh, Bill, they told me to," or "They took it away from me," or "They made the decision." It doesn't work that way, and that's why. Listen, it's really important for this month for us to really get comfortable with acknowledge and accepting, because you think awareness was challenging and you're going to think this month is challenging, next month is going to be even more challenging, because that is the accountability piece. That's the piece where we have to absolutely own it. And the reason we're doing a whole month on that is because it takes a long time for people to really accept it, because let's see how many excuses we will make before we finally say, okay, you're right, it is my fault. So celebrate your knowing, celebrate what you learned, even if it sucks. Just celebrate all the things that you have learned about yourself last month. And if you have not done that work yet, do it this weekend. And then
Yes.
sit and
What do
say,
you have to lose other
no,
than excess baggage?
yeah, that's it.
Just do it. I know you can. Fighting, you can. We believe in you. We show up because we believe in the human beings that we are, in the spirits that we live, that fill out this whole sweet life. We believe in you. That is why we show up. And you know what? Never think that we have all the answers, because we're always telling you we don't. We learn from each other. We ricochet. We pass the ball. We share stories. We learn from each other's stories, whether it's one line, a paragraph, or a fucking word. And that's what the joy of knowing is, of knowing that whatever I am today, tomorrow, I'm going to be a little bit better. Whether it's the word, whether it's the line, whether it's the sentence, whether it's what you wore today, whether the significance of this key that unlocks the emotions of my heart. These are the words that you need to allow to dance across your thoughts. And be the best you can be. Don't do it because you're wearing something, because you got new shoes or you got a new hairdo. Do it because you are. And that is priceless. You know, instead of you waiting in line for these new sneakers to drop, let people get in line to meet the new you that you're birthing right now in this moment. Because it's priceless. Value yourself.
And
with
celebrate celebrate that no. Celebrate what you know today, the joy of it. Celebrate it.
You know, we say that all the time. You know, acknowledge, accept, feel, release, celebrate. Those are the 5 things. Just like you see, you smell, you taste, you touch, you feel. It's like the 5 senses, and it's the 5 realities of who you are. Everything comes back to you. So we became aware. Now we're gonna be into the acceptance part, and then you know what, the acknowledge part. I'm right that I said it wrong. I'm always going off track.
Acknowledge and acceptance. That's the whole month.
So you know what? Let's do this. We need you to be in 100% for yourself.
Good morning, Nancy. Happy to see you. Thank you for coming on. Yes, so we are at the end of the show. Take this weekend, review, do it if you haven't done any of the work from the last month, and then celebrate the knowing, what you've learned, even if it makes you uncomfortable and it's aggravating you or it's angering you. Celebrate it anyway. Celebrate the fact that you know. So with that, get ready, because this is going to be titles that we have coming up for this month are absolutely powerful as hell. So next week is going to be a phenomenal week, just running right into Acknowledge and Acceptance Month. So from the both of us, from Viva Cafe con Leche and the Badass Buddha and Gladiator Guru, from me, and you're welcome, Milagros, remember to be you, be real, and be extraordinary.
And yes, hello, Nancy Green. Nice that you're here. Gracias a ti, Milagro, and everybody who came on today. We love it. The Gladiator Guru said, breathe in the beauty and breathe out the bullshit. Namaste.